Howdy folks, it's rjhelms here, back with episode 4 of Let's Play Factorio, and big excitement. I know it's been a little while since the last time that I recorded a Factorio episode, and the game has actually been released on Steam in that interim, so I've upgraded to version 0.12.24, which is the latest patch after the Steam release. At the time I'm recording this, it just came out 2 days ago, probably be 3 days ago by the time this goes online. But it seems like it's been a really successful launch, and that's pretty excellent. Still in early access, but shows, I guess, a good deal of confidence in what how the developers feel about the state of the game. And it's been in development for a number of years, so good on them to being ready to take that next step. I haven't actually upgraded it to Steam, downloaded a Steam key. I'm still playing from my old pre-Steam install. But it's the same game with the same upgrade, and thankfully didn't break any mod compatibility. I didn't even think about that until after the download was going, but that's how these things tend to go. Anyway, so just to recap, last episode we got the circuit protection going, not red circuits, that's quite a bit later, just the green circuits, and we got iron gear wheels going, and this is kind of the beginning of the backbone of our factory along the main hub. And what I wanted to do today is get science production going. We're still tooting along. If we go to the mini-map, there's the mini-map. We're still tooting along with this one little place down here making science, and that's not going to do. So, we'll need to switch. So I'm going to build a bunch of assembly machines, and I'm going to actually... actually before I do science, I'm going to start building assembly machines, and assembly machine 2s moreover. So we need gear wheels, iron plates, and electronic circuits. I'm actually going to pull off another one of these. Right, you should actually be underground. Why do they not want to place? I'm too far, of course. I want 2 of these. What am I short on plates? And then this other one, just placing this here for spacing, so this other guy coming up here. No, we want to be one of these. Oh, it's off by 1. Okay, that's fine. Is on one side. There we go. One side is going to be circuits. Other side is going to be gear wheels. And you will be inserter or assembler 1s, and you'll be assembler 2s. And you can go in a box. Let's just tune this for a bit. What are you short on? everything. Okay. I'm prepared for that possibility. I mean, I could switch to fast inserters. I probably should sooner rather than later. And it's the same boat for you. I'm also going to put a production limit on these. But you can have as much input as you want. Yeah, my bottleneck seems to be getting the iron plates in, which isn't too surprising because it needs 9 of them. But at any rate, that's what I wanted. So let's get our science going on. Well, you should be here. And I'll need some splitters. But red science is dead simple. Copper plates and iron gear wheels. So you just duck under there. And can immediately split off. No, you. In much the same fashion. Now what's the... I always get this ratio backwards, so forgive me if I get it wrong. But there's a pretty simple whole number ratio between red science and green science. It's either it's one of them you want 5 assembly machines and one of them you want 6. Oh, and there we go. So I want 6 assembly machine 1s. No, 5 assembly machine... 5 science pack 1s and 6 science pack 2s, because then I'll each be making 1 a cycle. That's simple enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each of you making science pack 1s will need some more inserters. And of course, inserters on the outside. Give me one more tick of these. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I always get these keyboard shortcuts a little bit wrong. What I want to do is control middle click. I want inserters pinned up here. Okay, and that's going to start making our red science. What am I doing for electricity? Oh, I'm fine. But the science, of course, needs to go up into labs. I'm just going to build these up away off this. It's just going to be a central science production facility that's going to exist kind of for the whole time. Green science will go in on the other side of this belt, and then later on I'll pull in a blue and purple science belt once we get to that being a thing that we're making. Let's start with 5 labs for now. Actually, no, that's all wrong. I have circuits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll pull this belt up a fairly generous distance but turn, so I'm not interfering with that oil, because I'm going to want that sooner or later. And give me some more inserters. Okay, now the science production should be online. I may or may not be producing... Oh, and that was quick. I may not be producing the right amount of science to power 5 science labs, but that's what we'll deal with. And I'm running very low on things that only use red science. So it might be time to think about actually getting that switched up. You duck underground. Can you actually duck all the way underground? Yes, you can. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess the question here is we're going to start running into, well, you can already see, we're well and truly running out of iron. I can help somewhat by plopping you guys in there, but I thought these actually stopped because I had reached the limit, but no, it's actually because I'm not making enough iron to keep this whole thing in operation. And to make things worse, I'm going to take all those belts. And it's because iron gear wheels really do suck down a lot, and my production is not very good. How's my electric demand doing? Okay, it's still going fine. So what I'm actually going to do is knock this all down and just extend this smelting column out. 8 was a good amount to start with, but the real kind of sweet spot, 12. And of course, I want to disconnect my entire power line. My entire factory from power, so I will need 4 more inserters on each side, so 5, 6, 7, 8. I've even got room for it. I really want to get on oil processing sooner rather than later, but it does mean I'm going to need... Yeah, sure, shotgun shell damage. That doesn't mean anything to me, really, but... Yeah, I need to get green science going before I can do that, so... And power poles. Okay, now presumably this is going to be about a full belt. once it gets going full tilt. But thankfully, I've left myself enough room that I can extend it a bit farther if I need to. I mean, one of the things, like I said in the last episode, the iron gear wheels and electronic circuits are really the backbone of your factory, and that's basically because they ended up being the biggest demand for any of the of your raw materials. You can see here, like, the iron production, so much of it is just going into these gear wheels, and especially would be if I was consuming enough that I was sucking down both lines. I could consider balancing this, but I'm making enough that it's not necessary. And the same thing will happen once we start really sucking down circuits. The circuit production uses, I think someone worked out the ratio, and it's something like 90% of all the copper in your factory is used up in circuit production. Okay, well, let's look at making green science. Maybe we can get this knocked out in the same episode. So, green science is inserters and transport belts, which seems a little bit more complicated. So let's yoink these. We know where our assembly machines for the green science are going to go. It's a question of figuring out how to get the inserters and transport belts to them in a way that's particularly efficient. Yeah, we're backing up on the red science, which is nice, so I can build more labs, but we'll deal with that later. For now, I just want to get the basics in place. So now these things are terribly complicated. Transporter belts and inserters, both of which I'm going to want just for my factory. Gear wheels, electronic circuits, iron plates, and you're going to be iron gear wheels and iron plates. Yeah, so I did have a good setup for this before, but I don't really remember it, to be completely honest. But basically, if I bring up course, not like that. If I bring up iron gear wheels and iron plates here, you can start making my transporter belts. And there we are, that's looking pretty nice. And this will kind of have split. On one side it's going to go out to there for the science, and on the other side it's going to go into here. We're going to only take 400. Okay, this is a little silly, but that's no skin off my back. I could have planned this a bit better. They're going to go down and up. To feed all of these assemblers. This isn't actually very good. I'm just thinking that if I ever need more transport belts, I can't really extend this. But that's okay, I think. Okay, so inserters need these things. Ironically, meaning I need more inserters. But I also need to bring up iron or electronic circuits. Okay, I've got a better idea. Same basic principle here. You're going to spit these out onto there. And this is actually going to come all the way up here and then come down. This way I've got an extensible column. This can wrap around if it needs to feed things in more. Yeah, this'll do quite nicely, I think. Yeah, you just go right there. Sail down into a nice underground belt. And you're going to produce inserters. With another long-handled inserter. Something's backwards here. No, it's that. And let's watch our ratio here to see what we get. Not quite getting enough. Okay, so something went wrong here. I can fix that. These actually probably have two inputs and one out. No. That's what you had, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so this could still stand to be improved, but that's fine. And a box to give me some surplus. And of course, output inserters on all these. That's the important thing I was forgetting. And now green science is online too. Very good. So let's choose some research that requires green science. And I think I'm going to choose... Going to railway is actually a very nice choice. Yeah, let's go for the oil processing first. Because I can do that right here. Steel production would have also been another very nice one. Okay, we are almost out of iron, it seems. Which is not terribly surprising, because now I'm sucking down everything even faster. And that's a production problem. Okay, that was bound to happen. Let's build some more mining drills if we can. Let's take one look at this. Circuits, gear wheels. Plates. Yeah, walking over with 10 drills should be plenty. How's copper doing? Copper's still fine. I'm not producing very much, but I'm not using very much either yet. That'll probably change actually once the iron really starts to pile in. I can take all this down. It's not doing any harm to be here, but neither is it really helping anything. Let's just extend this row out. And this one as well. Oh, my power poles are there for some reason. You know, one thing I'd really like if this game had is just a way to make it so that when you have these filters in your hotbar, they're kind of always respected, so to speak. Like, it's great to have them, but if you're not careful, I find that for whatever reason, I very often end up getting things put in other places, and then I just kind of lose them because I'm only looking. You know, I think, okay, well, I can get my power poles up by hitting 4 to bring up this thing, but then it doesn't happen because they're here, and it's totally because I put them down. It's very much a user error thing, but kind of an annoying one. So maybe there's a mod for that, I don't know. I'd appreciate to know if there was one. Okay, while we're here, let's put down the rest of these drills on the copper just to be safe. Actually, one other thing I'm going to do is put down some lights. Because maintaining these fields, they're kind of hard to walk through. It's the one thing I don't really like about this design of just packing them in as tight as possible. So having some lights to see what you're doing makes it a lot easier to get around at night compared to stumbling. So that should do us. Okay, and this will be a nice big improvement on both scores, but it's the iron that really matters to us. Actually, you guys can just kick back up, because I'm still not automating the production of stone. Okay, it's not quite a full belt, but I don't know if that's because I'm just getting here as the first production is reaching, or because it's not actually a full belt. Enough production to maintain a full belt of, or this full chain. But it's better at any rate. You can already see how much better it looks. And where this is really hurting us is, as expected, in the production of green science. So hopefully that'll improve. We can expand it if we need be. But yeah, one episode, about half an hour, red and green science up and running. Yeah, I'm going to do this as well. One thing that is a pretty common technique is to kind of make these rotate. Like so. The idea being that there's no point in having all my science just sitting at the end. Now, even though I don't have necessarily enough green science to run all the labs full time, no matter how much green science is kind of sitting here, rather than just queuing up at the end and only having a couple labs able to use it, hard to see because it's nighttime. Every lab kind of has an equal opportunity to get the green science coming in, so it might, at the margin, it's a little bit more productive. You actually see it did bring all 5 labs online with the same production, so that's something that is worth doing. I probably should have made it bigger, but that's okay. Anyways, we have this for real is going to be where I'm going to wrap things up. On the next episode, we'll probably jump into oil processing and steel processing, or one or the other. Probably going to have to be steel first now that I think about it, so I did the research backwards, but that's okay. And that all works towards, I guess it's blue science. Really, at the end of the day, that's the chain you're walking up in this game in a lot of ways, is the science production chain, up to at the very end being able to launch a rocket. And then beyond that, it's all about making your own fun. But yeah, this is or remains. Okay, here we are, so let's do I already have steel processing. Have I been am I that confused that I already had it and just haven't set it up? Plastics, I'll want that. Advanced oil processing, I'll want that. Yeah, I must have it, because I have... Oh, well, then I did things right. And for now, I will want fluid handling for sure. In that case. Yeah, so this is, like I say, it's Factorio. I've been rjhelms, and this is the 0.12.24 release, which is available on Steam in early access now. So I'll put a link in the description below. If you've been interested in the game but haven't picked it up because you like to buy your games through Steam, now's your chance. As always, leave any thoughts or feedback about this video in the comments below, about this video or my channel or this series. Any feedback is welcome. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more things like this in the future. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.